Hey, this is Not the Girl Next Door show, and I have Rick Lambert from Empty Trail today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Angela?
I'm good. Could you tell us a little bit about the band?
Yeah, let's see. Well, we are from Austin, Texas, and this has actually been a little personal endeavor of mine specifically since 2013 when I was living out in Los Angeles. And by the time, let's see, 2016, so it's relatively new, I basically created the live full band with Ram Gov on drums and Shane Wall on a bass guitar. It's kind of got like a hard rock, grunge vibe to it. And yeah, we've been playing shows, and we have a new EP that should be coming out January, 4 new songs, and just released a single, My World.
And we're going to actually talk about that single in a little bit because that is the first song I heard from you guys, and definitely was one of those songs that was an instant add to my playlist, and hopefully everyone else's too, I can imagine. So how'd you guys come up with the name Empty Trail, the name of the band?
Well, let's see. I named the band. I think it was kind of one of these, kind of a philosophical person, so it's kind of one of these introspective thoughts of just kind of pondering, what is the kind of purpose of everything, I guess, in a sense. So, like, I was just kind of thinking about, I've always felt like I'm on a path, following somewhere, and sometimes the question is just like, to where specifically, and where's it coming from, where's it going to, is it like, is there an end goal in mind and stuff? So it was kind of just from a really abstract thought, kind of at the core of my beliefs, I suppose, yeah.
So was this the end goal? Was this the end goal, or is that to be announced, to be seen? Was this the ultimate project that you had in mind, or?
Well, I guess we never know, I guess, in some ways, what the end goal is. So, I knew this is something that I've always wanted to do. I've wanted to create a band like this ever since I was 12 years old, so it took quite a while to do, but glad it's finally coming together.
So who were some of your musical influences growing up?
Let's see. Starting out, it definitely had to be Metallica. It's definitely the first band that got me on the map of hard rock. I remember, some kids when I was in 7th grade, and they showed me the song Master of Puppets, and that just sold me. From that point forward, I'm just like, I want to learn to play guitar, and I want to do this. The band after that would have to be Megadeth. I was a really big Megadeth fan. Let's see, Testament, Anthrax, that whole scene. It wasn't until maybe I was 16 years old that I started to get really influenced by more of like the grunge 90s thing, when I kind of came into my own as a singer. So bands like Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, Soundgarden, Nirvana, stuff like that.
And I can hear a little bit of that grunge sound in your song, and it comes out, in the vocals and in the music itself, I think. So some of those influences definitely shine through.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think definitely in the vocal department is where I think people would hear the most grunge influence. Everything else is very, I guess grunge is kind of like metal, kind of rooted in some ways, so yeah.
And it's different. It's difficult because I talk about subgenres a lot on my show. I know a lot of bands don't like to be locked into a subgenre, and things have changed because the other day I was just discussing the term new metal and how bands are coined new metal now, and I think that's one of my pet peeves is when people call a rock band or a harder rock band metal, and that's not what was metal to me, 20 years ago. We wouldn't have called Korn metal, or we would have definitely Ministry, but not someone like Korn. And now I know they're being dubbed from a lot of people that I've saw as a new metal band, and I don't agree. I don't agree with that at all.
Well, it's crazy. It's like, AC/DC was like considered heavy metal, and it's like considered the stuff that's going on now. It's just I think it's always just perspective. It's hard to kind of relate I mean, I guess you always want to try to like put something into some sort of genre so you can kind of know what to expect. But yeah, I mean, it's really, really hard to kind of say other than just listening.
Now, since you grew up on music from the late '90s, how do you think the music scene where you're located may have changed, or how do you think things are different now as far as they were maybe 15, 20 years ago?
In Austin?
Yeah, in your area whatsoever, or any place, or actually as a scene in general. I mean, because I've talked to a lot of bands, and even bands in other countries have said that there's been such a change. I mean, music itself it's not what it used to be. Like 15, 20 years ago, we had people, selling out small shows, and especially the area I'm from around here, there's not much of a music scene. And I know there's pockets all over the United States of where music is thriving, rock music especially, but around here it is not what it once was.
Yeah, I mean, well, I can't exactly like attest to that since I'm 27 years old, so I think
Right.
I unluckily like kind of missed the heyday in a sense for what I'm trying to do now. But yeah, I mean, I just think like things maybe are much more niche-y to some degree. I don't really see as many people as I would assume that come on. I mean, I remember I played a show in Houston a little while back, and someone was telling me that, he was talking in regards to the parking lot. He's like, 20 years ago, this parking lot would have just been completely full every single weekend. So, I don't know. It's hard to even imagine that really from where I'm sitting. But, I mean, I think music is just much more maybe diverse in the sense that a bit more niche. I don't see as much like scenes going on. I mean, there are some scenes. I know Austin kind of has like this psych rock scene going on, which isn't exactly Empty Trail. But yeah, but I don't know. It's hard for me to give a comparison because I didn't actually live through that.
So, speaking of a show, a live show, what can listeners expect to see when they see a show from Empty Trail?
I would say it's kind of like maybe more of an emotional experience in a sense. I mean, I think, it's hard rock. I mean, it's very intense, but it's also very introspective, kind of like I was saying earlier, which is the name of the title, Empty Trail. I really genuinely, I hope people connect to the music. I hope they get kind of the meaning from it, maybe feel understood or acknowledged in some regard to kind of what's going on.
So now let's talk about the music. Let's talk about your release, My World. Could you tell us a little bit about the song and what goes into arranging music for a song for the band?
Yeah, well, especially with the new stuff, it's kind of been I'll pretty much write the song and then I'll bring it into band practice, and then we'll just kind of, be like, in this section, let's create some riff here, we'll go here, and we'll kind of just all work together to, push the song out into something more experimental from where I was sitting. But did you ask me about the song My World specifically?
Yeah. If you could tell us a little bit about the song, tell us about the lyrics and maybe what the song is about and what it encompasses.
Yeah, let's see. So this song is actually in a very different realm from everything previous. It was written in a different way in a sense that I actually just grabbed an acoustic guitar and wrote the entire song from beginning to end with just basic chords. And then, just like what I said, brought it into band rehearsal, and we kind of worked together to produce it into kind of like a rock orchestration. The song lyrically is basically about the fact that every single one of us has, an internal world that most of us have no idea that's happening for the other person. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like just going out into the world and realizing, that somebody could be, in a very interesting mindset themselves and a very interesting perspective, or maybe dealing with something that you'd have absolutely no idea. And sometimes it even happens with people that are extremely close to you. You don't actually really know what, is going on with them. So it kind of came from that, my own experiences with that, and just kind of my own introspective thoughts of realizing that.
I have to say I agree with that. You can hit the nail on the head, because that is true. Sometimes you don't even know what your own best friend may be going through, and, on a daily basis, the struggles, and I definitely understand that point.
Yeah.
So what do you have planned for the rest of the year for the band in 2019 coming up? I know you had mentioned that you have an EP releasing in January. Do you guys have plans for a tour or any festivals, or maybe some more new videos coming out as the EP is released?
Yeah. So we're working on a video right now. The EP is going to be called Lost, and actually the title track off it, Lost. We're working on a video right now with a video director out in Dallas, Texas here named Teresa Jolie. So that hopefully will be done January, maybe sometime in December. I can't say exactly. Yeah, we have a show in Austin, if you're in the Texas area, December 21st. Come and take it live. And then as far as touring, we're working right now to kind of figure out what's going on in January. So we know we're going to jump on a tour. We're just trying to figure out the politics of what it's going to be, but I can't actually say anything quite yet.
Most definitely. Now, just as a personal musician question, what is your favorite kind of show to attend as far as going to see a band? Would you rather go to a small concert like one close to home, or would you rather, if you could, go to a large festival to attend multiple shows?
It's actually been quite a while since I've been to a festival. So right now I'd say a festival, for sure. I'd love to go to a festival. Spent a lot of time in and out of smaller shows over the past couple of years, but for some reason haven't actually made it out to a festival. So that sounds like a good time right now.
And if you could plan the ultimate tour for Empty Trail, who would you guys plan the ultimate tour? Anyone in the past or in the present, and who would you guys want to go on tour with?
Oh gosh, that's a tough one. Well, I mean, hey, if you could go with any band, I'd love to tour with Metallica. Why not? That'd be pretty cool. Let's see, I think like Alice in Chains would be a really good mashup. Gosh, that's a hard one.
Be a good mix.
Maybe
you could go in between the both, go into one of your fan, favorites, and then something with a sound that's similar to yours. So Metallica and Alice in Chains would be a good mix of all of it.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. I'd love that. That'd be like a crazy tour.
It definitely would. Now, where can fans find your music? Do you guys have a website? Are you guys on all social media? Where can fans find everything you have?
Yeah, so we got emptytrail.com. There's really not that much on that website right now, but we're on everywhere you'd imagine. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all digital distribution places. So Spotify is a big thing right now going on for us. Amazon, iTunes, honestly, like anywhere that there's music, there's Empty Trail somewhere there. But if you want to connect on social media, I would say the biggest thing would be Facebook and Instagram.
Definitely. And do you, as a band, do you utilize social media to help promote the band, or sometimes do you think it's a double-edged sword where sometimes it hinders as much as it helps these days?
I just think it's part of the way music is nowadays. I mean, I think just like if you're not in social media, you're just not really, getting much visibility, or people are not seeing what's happening. So I just think that's where it's going to become more and more. and I mean like all the streaming services and social media like Facebook and Instagram until maybe like a bigger social media platform comes out and that popularizes and, you know, knocks those out. No, I mean, I think it's good. I mean, if you like the band, follow on social media, you know. And I think especially nowadays, you know, fans are more connected to the artists and actually seeing what's going on in their daily life, probably more so than ever before now.
Oh, I agree. I think that that's one of the things that make it huge for bands, because I know a lot of bands, you know, they're constantly on social media and they're, you know, doing short, you know, hello, this is what we're doing, you know, or silly antics or whatever it is they do. And I definitely agree, because I think the fans reach out and want more of that, because they see you as they see themselves, and you know, you're still big rock stars, but they see you, you know, in your everyday lives, and I think that they need that as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a really good thing. I mean, I think it does kind of take it creates, I think, a better connection, a relationship, you know, in a sense, just because, you know, you are seeing people as just people, unless it's kind of like, you know, this untouchable thing that you can't relate to. It's like I ate lunch like everyone else.
Right. And everybody's not out there partying it up and all the time, like maybe in the 80s, like in Motley Crue.
Well, maybe some are. I won't say that I am, but.
Well, I thank you, Rick, for talking to me today. Anytime you guys want to come back, when you have the EP release or anything you need me to share, just contact me on Facebook. I appreciate you coming on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.